So I want to give you a quick breakdown of or quick rundown of the stocks I am actually looking into. I have a checklist of all of them here, right? I want to show you what I actually think is going on right now in the stock market and how you can be profitable from it. That's if you watch this video as soon as it gets published, right? So please, while you are watching, enable to try as much as possible to be subscribed to my channel, to get as much educative content as possible, right? So basically, this is the S&P 500. If you know what the meaning of S&P is, then you know what it is, right? So S&P basically means Standards and Poor 500. I don't know why the name is that, but that's the name that they came up with. And the 500 basically is the top 500 stocks or the top 500 companies in the United States. Basically, that's what S&P 500 means, right? So Standards and Poor is basically just like a company that just monitor how the top 500 companies in the US stock markets, how they thrive, how they work, how they the kind of price action they have. They just monitor their information and everything, right? Basically, if you can look for a very very long time, S&P 500 has been profitable, right, from the 1990s. So basically, if you had your money here, you'd have just kept it and forgot about it till you'd have been making money, right? You actually invested in S&P 500, just bought one S&P 500 in 1975. It was at $2 then, and now it's at $7,000, almost $8,000. Basically, without lifting a finger, $2 turned to $7,000. Now, think about it for a moment that you invested $1 million into the S&P 500. What's gonna happen? Basically, you can just do the calculations yourself, because that's gonna be a lot of money. But that investment is almost over 60 years, so you also have to be wary of that. Right? You can see the S&P 500 is bullish on almost all the time frames, right? This is gonna go from weekly to 4 hour. So basically, you can see that we actually had a good one here, which was this minor. I can actually call it a bearish flag. I can call it a bearish flag. We had this bearish flag, which was also a bearish counter trend. If bearish counter trend, if you want to call it that, right? Inside this range, and once it broke out, it just kept going up. So basically, it's not advisable for you to buy S&P 500 now, except you want to DCA. But the best time you could have bought should be when this range was happening. And the best time you could have bought should be on Thursday, on the 30th of July. That was before the breakout, right? Because you have invested in the S&P 500. Hold on a minute. If you had invested in the S&P 500, you'd have made could have made 4%, which is actually small, but it depends on the kind of capital that you have, right? 4% on $1 million is about it's about $40,000. So you can do your calculations very well. You can see that 4% is not really small. It all depends on the kind of account that you have. It's almost 5% because actually 4.8%, right? So basically that's what I have on S&P 500. It's not advisable for you to buy S&P 500 now, except you want to DCA into S&P 500. It's as simple as that, right? I'm just gonna go quickly to the next stock, which is one of my most favorites, and this is Apple, right? Apple iPhones, iPad, iMacs, what else? AirPods, whatever. This is one of the most profitable companies, one of the most profitable companies in this century, right? I think it's actually the most profitable if you're not talking about Nvidia, if you're not putting Nvidia into perspective, right? But it's actually one of the most profitable. So on the weekly time frame, what we have a very very strong bullish trend, right? Very very strong bullish trend. I'm just gonna hop onto the 4 hours as soon as possible. I don't want to take this too long. This should be 20 minutes. I want to make it 20 minutes video as quickly as possible. So basically you can see that inside an option they have another option, right? And you can see how the stock is doing right now. The stock is doing amazingly well. Amazingly well. Unless we have something here that is going to, counter what we have currently, but the stock is actually, stock is actually doing well. And there might be a reason for the current bearish movement of Apple, and I'm going to tell you why. It's very, very interesting. And if you have money and want to put it into Apple, I think this is the best time for you to buy Apple shares, right, or Apple stock, because there will be a good bullish run before the release of the iPhone 18, right? And when that bullish run comes before the release of the iPhone 18, that's when you should take your profit before the iPhone 18 comes out. Because when the iPhone 18 comes out, I promise you, Apple stock is gonna dump. Apple stock is gonna dump. It might not be very, very big dump, but it's gonna dump. And if you think that you want to buy because the iPhone 18 is coming outside, you are on your own, right? What I would advise is for you to buy now when there's no FOMO, right? Buy now when there's no FOMO and sell when there's FOMO, right? Basically, the term in finance is buy the is it buy the rumor, sell the hype, buy the hype, sell the rumor. I'm trying to remember it. Okay, hold on, give me a minute. Just okay, so it's basically buy the rumor, sell the news. So the rumor of the iPhone 18 coming outside this in a few weeks from now, it's no longer news, right? So it should be out before September 20. So the iPhone 18 should be out before September 20. So basically you should start buying the rumor of the iPhone 18 coming outside before the iPhone 18 actually comes out, right? So that's how you're going to be profitable off Apple, right? I'm trying to draw a trend line here, but I'm trying to make it as sensible as possible, because it's very, very easy for me to draw something that I'm not seeing. So I have to be really careful about the kind of trend line I actually put on here. So basically this is what I'm actually looking at right now. This isn't the best, to be honest. Looks kind of like fake to me. Okay, I actually think that works. I don't know why I was thinking it didn't work, but looking at it right now, I think this is the best time to buy Apple shares, right? Because Apple is actually actually broken out of this minor bearish flag that we have right now. I think it is going to start moving upwards right now, but to take some time, but it's going to go up, right? So basically what I should be expecting on Apple right now is a breakout of this minor level. And I will tell you why. Because this level looks like it's in limbo. It doesn't know where it wants to go. I don't know. It doesn't know if it wants to go up, if it wants to come down, whatever. But when this breakout comes, it gives you a clear direction of where the market is about to go to, right? So basically it comes here. This is stocks, right? This is not forex. It might not even retest, it might just break out and just keep going, right? So basically once you see a breakout on Apple to the upside, there's a high potential of of it trending upwards, right? So that's what I have on Apple, right? If you have money you want to put in Apple, you want to make about, you should be planning to make a few percent, not too much, right? You should be thinking of making about 9.8% or 10% of whatever you put in the next few weeks, because I think it's going to hit all-time high before the iPhone 18 comes out. Then after the iPhone 18 comes out, it's going to dump. Simple market analogy. Buy the rumor, sell the news. If you know about that, I think you should actually go make a research about it, and you find out a lot. So the next thing, I actually think we are skipping a stock. Yep, we have skipped Tesla. So it's supposed to be SPY, Tesla, and it's supposed to be SPY, Apple, and Tesla. Actually, felt like I skipped something there. So on the weekly time frame on Tesla is not actually looking good because I was actually looking to go bullish on Tesla, and it's actually not looking exciting or enticing at this current stage because since Trump won the election, if you can see very very well that Tesla stock has been doing well, so just a few the months, just up to a month, I don't think so. So basically Tesla has lost 40% in 217 days. Now it has rebounded to 30%. So that's freaking crazy, to be honest, because I was actually rooting for it and looking for buying opportunities on Tesla. But right now, I don't know. I don't think he's gonna buy. I don't think he's gonna buy. I don't think he's gonna buy. But I'm just gonna tell you, if he's gonna buy, I'm gonna show you how I'm going to do it, right? Because you can see we were in a bullish trend, this bullish trend before the market broke out. And even as the market has broken out, you can see that the market made a tiny weak movement before he actually went back up again. So there's a possibility of two things, right? There's a possibility of the market, breaking this minor counter trend that we have taken here and going bearish, or the market breaking this sorry, I have kata. So the market breaking this area of resistance, breaking this trend line and retesting, continue to be bullish, right? I have no much information about Tesla news, to be honest, right? I have no much information about Tesla news, so I'm literally trading blind here. So all I can say is that if there's a breakout of that counter trend, I am supposed to be looking for selling opportunities. If there's none, I'll be looking for buying opportunities. I actually don't think that this breakout is feasible, so I'm going to try to do something like this. This makes more sense than what was there previously, so I'm just going to stick with this new one, right? So basically there's a new breakout there's a breakout of this level. Just know that Tesla is going to go down to $294 per share. Right, currently it's at $342, as you can see here. So that's all I have for Tesla. It's a very very sad news there. I'm just going to Strategy, which was formerly MicroStrategy, right? It's owned by, it's not owned, I think it's is it Michael Saylor? Michael Saylor is the CEO of MicroStrategy, and one thing I've noticed over the years about MicroStrategy is that it moves the same way Bitcoin moves, right? Because they are one of they're one of the companies that have the largest amount of Bitcoin ever currently. It has almost 1 million Bitcoins, but right now I think it's like the companies are selling it because Bitcoin value is kind of like crazy right now. It's dropped drastically, so they are just selling the Bitcoin, some Bitcoins that they have, just to cover up for some losses that they have in their books. So basically, that's what I think. So MicroStrategy was on uptrend before it started trending downwards since for some years now. Okay, I actually think it started this last year, April, right? So that's when it started trending bearish. What am I looking for MicroStrategy? I'm looking for MicroStrategy to keep being in a range around this area, right? Around this area, should keep ranging. But if MicroStrategy breaks out of this area, it should be a buy, right? There's a clean breakout there. There's no reason why it should not buy, but I don't think that will happen. I don't want to say it can never happen, but it's less likely to occur because it moves with Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is right now is at 60 something dollars, $63,000. That's what it is at. So I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. I just think it's just going to keep ranging, right? And if it breaks out to the downside, best believe that we are going to just start selling MicroStrategy, right? Now we have Palantir. Palantir is one of those countries that just came out of the blue, and you can see what they've been doing for themselves for the past few years now. I think their IPO was they IPO'd in 2020. I think Monday 28th. That's when they IPO'd on September 28th, 2020. They IPO'd. So basically, what I'm looking on Palantir is very very simple, right? They're a technology company. They are doing good things for themselves right now. So we had the a bearish trend, which funny enough I actually had this analysis for a very long time on Palantir, because I was actually thinking that the market is going to range here a little bit, but there's a little bit zone here. Let me just mark that out for you to see. The zone here, right? I was actually thinking that I might just range to this side, then when it gets done ranging, it's gonna break out retest and keep going. But right now you can see he actually jumped out of the trend. He didn't even break out, he just jumped out of it. And it's going up. So basically, if I had bought Palantir at $122, I could have had it at $174 right now. So basically, if I want to calculate, that should be almost 5 to 10%. To be honest, that is. Oh wow! Oh, what the fuck! I don't know how easy F4 a lot. So it's actually up 45%. So basically, if you had invested in $100, you would have had the 145. Simple and short. That's what Palantir has to offer to us right now. So you basically went from $122 to $174, right, in stock price. So that's that for Palantir. I still think that they still have more upside to go. Probably there might be a pullback, a retest, a rejection, a retracement, whatever you want to call it, right there. There'll just be pullback to this area or to this area for keeps going up. So that's a wrap on Palantir. On Amazon, Amazon is a very very vast company. It's very very hard to bet against them, because even for years they have been doing well for themselves, right? I can see it since where they IPO'd for a very very long time. They've been in the game. I don't want to go back to where they IPO'd. I have no business there. Where I have business currently is at in current price action and what he has to offer to me, right? Okay, I'm just gonna do that quickly. So basically, this is where we're at Amazon, and chart is a little bit messed up, but we cannot just acknowledge that it's an option, right? You can see that inside the option we have this main level of support basically, and we have this counter trending level of this bearish counter trend. I can also see that he actually didn't break out of the counter trend, he jumped out of it, right? Price just jumped from on Friday. I think it's actually a Thursday jump from $234 to $264. That's a freaking crazy jump. So basically you can see that Amazon is actually bullish currently, and it's something that if you have good capital, you can actually take an investment in Amazon. Actually, you should be holding this for about 6 months. Yeah, 6 months is the best time to hold this for max gains, to be honest. I actually took a trade on Spotify because Spotify is going global, with all the things they have been doing. That's one of the reasons why I actually saw, I actually took interest in Spotify stock. So basically you can see we are in an uptrend, right? These are all, majority of them are good uptrending markets, right? And they are also emerging markets because they have not been here for so long, right? So these are something we can also capitalize off of. So we had this minor bearish trend, right? And I expected a breakout, a retest, which happened clean, and it kept going up. So if I hopped on Spotify for $111, you would have had it for $158 right now, which is a good gain if you ask me. And I actually think that Spotify is just going to keep going up for some time. You should be holding this stuff for about 2 to 3 months. or probably when it gets to its all-time high, you can just sell there, right? But Spotify is actually a good stock to hold, to be honest. Um, what I have next is Walmart. Walmart is as vast as Amazon is. It's almost hard to bet against these guys, right? It's almost hard to bet against these guys because they basically have, they have the market support and all of that. They have the clientele, they have the client to take these goods or whatever they sell off their hands. So basically their stock is actually doing well. We are in a minor bearish trend right now inside a major bullish trend. So basically I was expecting a breakout and a retest. The breakout is happening currently. I should be expecting a retest anytime soon. So basically if you can hop on this Walmart trade on $115, you should be exiting at the all-time high, which is $134, and you should be exiting with about 16% profit. As if you know what you are doing and you enter the trade as quick as possible. There's a probability of the market coming, market open on Monday and the price might just jump. But I actually think that price might decline a little bit from 111 to 112. No, from 115 actually to 112 before it goes up to 134. But if you get it at current market price, you are going to make like 16% in whatever time it takes for it to get to all-time high. I actually think that this level is a very, very good level that is going to break easily. So I actually don't think that this level is something that we should be too concerned about, right? Walmart is a very, very it's more like an American brand that's going global, right? So it's something that's very, very old, and so old is good. So basically you know that you shouldn't play with Walmart stock, right? The next should be Nvidia. Nvidia is crazy. Nvidia is crazy. I'm trying to wait for this thing to load. Okay, there we go. Nvidia Corporation. I think I have analysis here too, right? Oh, this is 22 minutes. I think I've gone way past the time I'm supposed to be analyzing. So basically you can see we're in a good uptrend. We are having price are respecting levels well, right? Go to daily time frame. What can we see? Basically Nvidia has broken out, right? I had this descending triangle chart pattern on the daily time frame, and price are actually broken out of it. I should be expecting a pullback to $199 before going to all-time high of 234, and which I am sure that Nvidia always goes more than its all-time high. If you monitor the stock for for quite some time, you see that the stock actually goes up a lot if he actually wants to, right? So I should be looking to take any buys from 199 to $200, from 199 200 to around $234 for a 17.5% profit. That's what I should be expecting on Nvidia Corporation if I take the buys on the $200 cap, right? These are not things I should rush. You want to take a trade as quickly as possible. You should take in a Walmart trade because it has materialized, but this has almost gone way past its prime of this particular setup, right? So that is that. For that, if you want to take that trade, you should be looking to take for a more minor or a more lower percentage, profit on that one. So this is Paramount. I think this is the company that makes movies, right? This is the production house of movies, and Paramount has been bearish for quite some time. I actually don't see Paramount good. To be honest, it's not like an insult or whatever, but Paramount has been declining for a very, very long time. And funny enough, their earnings and dividends are actually not the worst so far in the industry. I think one of the all-time high at 2020 was $100, and currently Paramount is at $10. It doesn't make sense for me to start saying that you should buy Paramount right now. The only time I ask you to buy Paramount is when hold on. okay, it's when it's broken out, and actually it has broken out. But this is a kind of trade that I should be skeptical on, because Paramount hasn't been doing so well. I don't know if this might be the overall breakout that causes a chain reaction in the market. I am not sure about that, to be honest. Taking a trade on the initial price at $10.10 to around $20 should give you a 92%. That's crazy. A 92% if Paramount gets to $20, right? Wait, $20 should be actually 100%. So basically, if you invest how much you want to, let's say you invest $1,000 or $10,000 in Paramount at $10, and it for some reason goes to $20, which is very, very hard, to be honest. You're gonna have 100%, 103% to be honest, to be exact, right? 103%. This is not a trade I would advise, but it's something that it's worth the risk, because it has a higher reward. This is more like a high risk, high rewards type of scenario, right? While the one on Walmart is more like a low risk, high reward, right? Nvidia is right currently at current price action in Nvidia is a current price action in Nvidia it's a low risk, low reward. But if you wait for price to decline to 200, it should be a low risk, high reward. On Walmart, you can see that it's a low risk and high reward. But on Paramount, it's actually a high risk, high reward, because you are risking a lot of money. Or even if it's not a lot of money, you can see that the probability of Paramount going to $20 is very, very low, but the reward is there too. So that is another thing you have to put into consideration if you want to buy Paramount shares or stocks, right? Or stock shares, whatever you want to call it. So basically, you can see Meta. Meta is the home of Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, all of the above. So basically, the IPO was in 2012, right? 2012, and their all-time high was around 800. I don't think it went to 800. All-time high was 796, 794, 790. Let's say 790 was the all-time high of Meta, but right now Meta is actually bearish. And to be honest, it's supposed to be, because Meta isn't doing so good right now. They're actually doing good in the books, but based on face value and social value, they aren't doing so good. I might be wrong. I stand to be corrected. But right now, Meta is Meta is not Meta right now. So basically, if I'll be looking to take this shit off of Meta, I should be looking for good reasons for me to take the trade. Right? I don't know if that makes sense, right? I should be looking for a breakout of this level for me to take the buys on Meta in Meta, right? Right, I should be looking for a breakout there, or I want to take a high risk, high reward type of trade. I might decide to take it at current price action at $589 here to all-time high at 786, which should give me a total profit of 33%, 33.27%, right? So a high risk, high reward type of trade. Same thing as we have on Paramount, because the market is actually trending downward. So the best people I can ask to buy Meta stocks are those people that are DCAing. If you are not DCAing and you are buying Meta stocks, I don't think it's reasonable to buy Meta stock, because it's actually in a downtrend. Right? You can see it's actually trending downward. So it's only reasonable when it breaks out. And if you only want to buy it now, you should just DCA until it comes out of where it is currently at right now. So Microsoft corporations that's gone. That's left us. To be honest, you can't even take the trade anymore, because I actually had this projection I think before August, and Microsoft has been going crazy. Right, all time high at $551. You can see we are in a clean uptrend. I think this is one of the cleanest uptrends so far. I've seen prices respecting these levels very well. We had a good, very good downtrend, good breakout, good retest. This is what I'm telling you, right? You can decide to buy here, $459, and realize that price is still going to come to give us a retest. That's why I see sometimes it's just good to wait and see if there's a pullback for you to buy at a cheaper price, right? This was one of my projections on Microsoft, and you see that it did not lag, right? On Thursday, 18th of July, it came for 18th of June actually. It came for the retest, and it has been going up ever since. I was actually thinking of getting I think a few weeks back, I was thinking of getting a Fibonacci pullback to this area, or Fibonacci retracement to this area. I'm going to take a trade there, but that did not happen, so I'm just going to take this out as soon as possible. If you want to take trades on Microsoft Corporation, I think it's best to wait for a pullback into this region, or a pullback into this level, right? A pullback from this region is going to make you 17% profit. There's a pullback there, but a pullback to this level is going to make you 26% profit. So pick your poison, and know when you want the pullback, or when you want to take the trade based off of the kind of pullback that you have, right? Because you can have a pullback here, and the market might still dump here before it keeps going up. So right now, just wait for a pullback. It doesn't matter what pullback you have, either this one or this one, but the market is actually kind of like trending bullish as of late. So it doesn't matter what pullback you have. As long as you have the pullback, it's going to make you profit ultimately in the long run. So yeah, this is going to hold this trade for a month or two, because it looks like Microsoft is a little bit slow. So what else? What I have last? Is it lastly? Okay, I have AMD. I think I'm just gonna stop at AMD. AMD, I don't see a buy here, because it doesn't look like it's even he wants to buy, to be honest. AMD is kind of like stock, but this is one of the best places to buy, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because you can see AMD approaching the recent what's it called, recent resistance area, which means that there's a high probability of AMD breaking out, and when that breakout occurs, what happens, right? It's going to go up ultimately. So basically, if you take a trade off AMD, you should be thinking of going out at the all-time high, or you should be looking around this $700 region for a for a 25%, 26% profit, right? So it's much easier said than done, right? You can see all of this, and a lot of them might not happen, right? And a lot of them will happen too. You can see Micron Technology MC has actually broken out of its bearish whatever we have right now, this previous bearish trend. You should be looking for a pullback to buy, or you can just buy outright, right? You can buy outright. Buying outright gives you 27% to the all-time high, which is cool. But if you wait for a 24% pullback, then you should be making about 40% of total profit when it goes to all-time high from the $739 region. So that's for Micron Technology. Netflix. So I think Netflix is in a downtrend. You can see, right? Netflix is actually going down, but this is one of the entertainment hubs. So this is more like when you are seeing something that you know that is going to be profitable in the long run, but it's actually not profitable now. So basically, you can decide to buy Netflix now and just hope for the best. Wait for whenever it's going to be profitable. I think you're going to be waiting for a very long time, but sooner or later it's going to be profitable, right? You're gonna be profitable and you're gonna make good money from it, right? But right now, I don't advise you to buy Netflix. But if you want to buy, it should be for DCA purposes only, right? Dollar cost averaging. That's what this DCA means. So Alphabet, which is Google, you can see that this is the best position for you to look for a buy currently, right? Because you can see that price has actually broken out of this counter trend that we have, bearish counter trend, broken out, retested back into the level. This is the best place to take your buys on Google or Alphabet, right? Think about taking this trade from here, closing around $451. That's a little bit higher than the all-time high for a 31% profit. Right, that is the best thing that you can actually think of doing on this stock right now. SMC, right, super micro computer. You can see that it has actually broken out of this minor downtrend that it has. Right? You can see a lot of these stocks, when they break out, most of them don't retest, they just break out and just keep going, right? So you can see SMC has broken out already. It's almost too late to take the buy, to be honest, because if you are taking a buy, you're just like you're almost in the middle, right? There's a high probability of losing and there's a high probability of going into. So that's not something that you want to gamble. So you just have to sit it out, wait for a retest, or just don't take the trade at all. Oracle, which is what's Oracle? Okay, I think Oracle is a company that it's behind another company. To be honest, I've forgotten. So Oracle on the weekly time frame for some reason is bearish, but these are companies that are I want to say that they are companies that are supposed to be bullish overall. So basically, you can think of DCA to DCA around here in Oracle and just wait for profitability, right? But the best time to buy Oracle is when it breaks out of this trend line. Then it shows us that it is now ready to kind of like start buying, right? But right now it looks more bearish than whatever. We have Intel Corporation. Intel is also looking to buy right now. You can see Intel has actually broken out of this downtrend that we have here. This is the best place to buy Intel here, but it has passed there already. So 29% to current price action. So basically, you can wait for it for a 72% profit, or you can take it from where it is at for a 38% profit. That's right. Sophie Technology. Sophie, I think Sophie has a stadium, and they have a lot of companies, to be honest. They have a stadium in the United States and all of that. I don't actually think that a football stadium is going to make their stock going to go up. But I'm just trying to stick whatever they have to whatever they have, the intrinsic value of what they have to something. So makes more sense for there's a breakout. Funny there's actually a breakout on Sophie right now. There's a breakout, there's a retest. So this is the best. In fact, Sophie is one of the best trades I've seen this night, right? Taking Sophie buys from here you should be open to seeing 64%, which is actually good, to $30 to the all-time high 64% profit, right? This is actually good. If you invest in $1,000, you'll be making 1,642, 43, somewhere around there, right? So that's it. Seku, is it Seku? Okay, Seku. I actually don't want to do Seku right now. I just want to go to SpaceX and close for the night. We have Seku. Okay, let's see what we have here. Just gonna quick roll this. We have Seku, we have XOM, we have TXM, we have Alibaba, we have GameStop, we have Reliance. I just want to go to SpaceX because SpaceX has been bearish, but right now it's becoming bullish, right? IPO was after the IPO, it was like it became like a dead stock. He went like 50% under, which is freaking crazy, right? For a stock that came out with a 1.3 trillion dollar valuation, from its all-time high, it dropped around 53%. Crazy. And right now is actually the stock is actually rebounding now. This is the best time to go in on your SpaceX longs, right? This is the best time to buy SpaceX. Okay, I can actually see that we're in an uptrend, in a minor bearish counter trend that is about to break out. This is the best time to go in on your SpaceX longs, right? So that is that for that. Thank you very much for sticking to the end of this video. And my voice is actually going out because I'm supposed to go to sleep. I'm analyzing the market. So thank you very much for watching to the end of this video. It's a pretty long one, but these are what I'm expecting for these stocks currently. Alright, these are the setups that I have on them, and these are where I should be taking profits and where I should be making my entries on these stocks. And I think you actually should do that too if you want to. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm just giving my own say in the market, what I actually feel is going to happen. Alright, so thank you very much for sticking to the end, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.